The coronavirus, of course, has disrupted the world of sports, and leagues now are searching for a way to get the games back on. NASCAR is slated to return on May 17th, but without fans at the track. The PGA is set for a national broadcast on the same day as Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, Ricky Fowler, and Matthew Wolff play in a coronavirus charity team skins game. There will be no galleries allowed on site. In tennis, the U.S. Open still scheduled for September in New York with no fans. But it could be moved to California in November if shelter-in-place restrictions are lifted in the state and fans can attend matches there. The NFL announced yesterday its regular season schedule will be out on Thursday after it hosted a virtual NFL draft last week. And Major League Baseball reportedly has been working on a plan to start the season in late June, no later than July the 2nd, playing at least 100 regular season games. That was a USA Today report last week. In the meantime, baseball fans can get their fix because ESPN will be airing the South Korean Baseball League, whose opening day began earlier this morning. Joining us now, best-selling author and columnist Mike Lupica. His new book, on sale today, is entitled Robert B. Parker's Grudge Match, a Sonny Randle novel. We will get to that, Mike, in just a moment, but I think it shows how desperate we are for sports that the front page of ESPN says it's opening day in Korea, and a lot of us will be watching baseball because it's a game. It's a live sporting event. It speaks to the great ratings, not just because the content is so good in the Michael Jordan documentary on ESPN, but because people want something that they can watch. How soon do you think, or at all, do you think we will have sports here in the U.S.?
Well, Willie, I actually think I am cautiously optimistic about baseball right now. I mean, we've seen all the various plans get floated, Florida, Arizona, then they threw Texas into the mix. But I think this three-division, 10 teams in each, East, Central, West, might work. And I actually think if we're hearing this much about this plan at this time, that they might get started by July 1st in empty stadiums. And I'm just happy to be having this conversation about baseball today on the day before Mr. Willie Mays' 89th birthday. It just seems like baseball is in the air again. And, you know, this could get sidetracked. There could be another surge. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. But for the first time in months, I actually think, Willie, that your Yankees might get a chance to win a World Series this year.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
With a huge asterisk, of course.
Yeah.
Just like most
Big
of
time.
them. So anyway, Mike, let's talk about the pandemic hasn't worked certain things out. Let's talk about how that would look. What would the Major League Baseball season look like if, in fact, they did start it up?
Well, Joe, there's no question that they have to start with empty seats. There's no way. I mean, this would become a television studio sports. Remember that game during the problems in Baltimore a few years ago where they played in front of no fans? And it was odd. I was talking to Jim Palmer about it the other day, how bizarre an experience it was to broadcast that game. But they want to get this game back on the field. I actually think that, you know, if with all the safeguards they can put in place, I think baseball would like to be first. I think somebody's going to have to take that first step. And I talked to Rob Manfred, the commissioner, a few weeks ago, and he said literally they've had hundreds of different variations of plans over the last several months. But this story in USA Today, I think Bob Nightingale wrote it, makes me believe that this thing is starting to come together, but it's always subject to events on the ground and what the numbers are in May and June for the coronavirus, because that could change.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've been waiting for you and Willie to call and say, do we want to fly to South Korea for the start of the baseball season there?
Well, you know, Willie and I are actually going to get on the plane, so you can jump on if you'd like to. No. So talk about your book. We know very well because Jack is such a huge fan. You write a book a week. Your latest book is Robert B. Parker's Grudge Match. Tell us about it.
Well, Robert B. Parker was a giant of mystery writing. He wrote the Spencer novels, Jesse Stone, Sonny Randle, Westerns. If you look in the front of these books, his output was immense. And he was a friend of mine. I started reading the Spencer novels when I was in college. And a couple of years ago, I wondered why. The other have been resumed. Ace Atkins has written Spencer novels. The Westerns have been resumed. And I asked why nobody had continued the story of Sonny Randall, who's a Boston private detective and one of the, one of the great female detectives. And they found out, and I got a call from Ivan Held, my boss now at Putnam. He said, "Why don't you write a sample chapter?" And I did. And the first Sonny came out about a year and a half ago. This is the second one, comes out today. And it's been such a privilege to continue on his work. He was, anybody who knows him, Mike Barnicle would tell you, he was a force of nature, Robert B. Parker. And for Daniel and David Parker, his sons, to ask me to continue this series, it's been a ball. I'm getting ready to start number 3. And there's lots of bad people that Sonny outwits. And Mika, this is Sonny knows her value as a private detective. Let me tell you that.
I love it. All right, the new book is Robert B. Parker's Grudge Match, a Sonny Randall novel, on sale today. Mike Lupica, thank you very much. And
thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.